Now we're going to learn how to divide rational expressions. So let's review how to divide rational numbers. If we have 1/3 divided by 1/2, we have to multiply by the reciprocal. We might have remembered it like this: keep, change, flip. Where you keep the first number, the 1/3, change the division to multiply, and then you flip or take the reciprocal of the second number. So 1/2 is going to become 2/1, which is just 2. So now we have 1/3 times 2, which is 2/3. So when you divide rational expressions, you're doing the same thing. You're going to invert the second number and multiply. You're going to keep, change, flip. You're going to multiply by the reciprocal, just like we did with fractions. So let's start with this one. 4x/7 divided by 2/7. So the first thing we do is we keep the first number, the 4x/7. Then we're going to change division to multiply, and then we're going to flip. So 2/7 is going to become 7/2. So this is where we are multiplying rational expressions, which is what we learned how to do in the previous lesson. So let's go ahead and simplify first. The 7s cancel each other out, and then 2 goes into 4 twice, leaving us 2x. Go ahead and try this one on your own. So you should have flipped, and instead of having 5/6a, had 6a/5. So the 5's will cancel, and so will the 6's. And you should have been left with a² times a, which is a³. Go ahead and try this one now. So when you have flipped, the 4 goes into 12 3 times. So I know that I'm going to have a 3 on the top and 5 on the bottom, which none of these have that. Oh, I'm sorry. We still have the times 3, and 3 times 3 is 9. So we're going to have 9 on the top. And then we'll have x³ times x, which means we'll have x to the 4th. Okay, so this one's a little bit more complicated. Not only do we have to keep, change, flip, but then we're also going to have to factor. So a² minus b² is difference of squares. That's a plus b times a minus b. And then we have over a plus b. We're going to change the division to multiply, and then we're going to flip the second term, this a plus b over a² plus 2ab plus b². So a² plus 2ab plus b² is going to be in the numerator on top. And when we factor that, we can use our box method to figure out that that's a plus b times a plus b. And then our a plus b here is going to move to the bottom and be in the denominator. So now we're multiplying, so we can cancel everything that we can. This ab cancels this ab. This ab cancels this ab, leaving us a plus b times a minus b, which we know is the difference of squares. A², oh, it should be a² minus b². I'm sorry. Difference of squared is a² minus b². That's an error right there. Okay, go ahead and try this one on your own. So you would have had to have factored out the 6 for this one, leaving you x² minus y², which is the difference of squares, x plus y times x minus y. And then this is divide, so you're going to change that to multiply, and you're going to flip. So this piece will actually be on the top, and you will factor out the 3, giving you 3 times x plus y. On the top here, this should be x² minus x minus y times x minus y. So once you cancel everything out, you should have gotten option 1. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Okay, you should have gotten option 2. Okay, so this one looks a little bit complicated, but remember, before we try to use the box method, we want to factor out everything that we can. Here, I know I can factor out an x². I can also factor out a y. And when I do that, I'm left with x² plus 3x minus 4. x squared plus 3x minus 4, I can use my box method, and that becomes x plus 4 times x minus 1. For my denominator, I can factor out an x first, leaving me x squared plus 2x minus 3. And then when I use my box method, I get x plus 3 times x minus 1. Remember, I'm going to change my division to multiply and flip this, so x plus 3 is going to go on top. And when I factor x squared minus x minus 20, using my box method, I get x minus 5 times x plus 4. Now I'll cancel what I can. This x goes into x squared once, so now I have x and a y on top. This x plus 4 is canceled with this. This x minus 1 cancels here, and this x plus 3 cancels here, leaving me just x minus 5 on bottom. So sometimes our fractions can get a little complex, but remember that fractions are just another name for division. So 1/2 over 3 over 2 is the same as saying 1/2 divided by 3 over 2. And then we can go ahead and use our keep, change, flip, or multiplying by the reciprocal. So this is the same as this. So remember, division and fraction lines are the same thing. So let's try one. We have 2z minus 6 over z squared plus 5z plus 4 over z squared minus 9 over z squared plus 7z plus 12. So the first thing we want to do is we want to write this as a division sign. So it's this divided by this. Okay, so I rewrote that here. Now we want to go ahead and factor. Let's factor our 2 out of this numerator. So we have 2 times z minus 3. And then z squared plus 5z plus 4 factors into z plus 4 times z plus 1. Now remember, our division is going to change to multiply, and we're going to flip. So z squared plus 7z plus 12 will be on top. And when I factor that, I get z plus 3 times z plus 4. This z squared minus 9 will be on bottom, and that's difference of squares. So I get z plus 3 times z minus 3. Now I cancel what I can. So z minus 3 cancel, z plus cancels, and z plus 4 cancels, leaving me 2 on top and z plus 1 on bottom.